What's up, guys? Welcome back. Winter is in full swing, and that means one thing. It's soup season. And one of my favorite soups of all time is loaded potato soup. And I have just the recipe for you. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen.
That's funny.
It's a palate bomb.
All right, people, first things first, potato soup starts with the potatoes, and today I'm using Yukon Gold. Feel free to use whatever potatoes you like, though. Russet potatoes or white potatoes work well for this as well. One of my favorites, though, is Yukon Gold. They're buttery, and they're nice and delicious. I mean, if you like potatoes, you can't go wrong with the Yukon Gold. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and chop the little ends off, give me a flat surface to work with. Then we're going to peel the skin off of these potatoes. Then we're going to dice them up, get them nice and clean, and set them aside until we need them for our soup. For this recipe, you're gonna need about 2 pounds, maybe 2.5 pounds, depending on how many people you're trying to feed. This recipe should be good for about 10-ish servings. Again, depending on how hungry you are. Get your potato peeler out and just peel the skin off the potatoes. Quick reminder, guys, that all the specific measurements, ingredients, and directions for this recipe can be found at MrMakeItHappen.com. Make sure you guys check that out. All of my recipes are on the website. Also, let me know in the comments what other soup recipes you want to see. So once you have the potatoes peeled, we're going to go ahead and give them a rough chop. Really doesn't matter what size, because we're going to mash most of these up anyway into the soup. But the smaller they are, the faster they're going to cook, so just keep that in mind. So something like this size. Then we're going to get in there and make sure they're nice and clean. That's very important. Obviously, potatoes are a root vegetable. They can be quite dirty when they come from the store, so we're going to go ahead and peel them, chop them, and then clean them, and they'll be ready for our soup. All right, guys, once the potatoes are nice and clean, it's time to prep our onion. We just need one nice diced onion we're going to add to our soup. A little garlic. We're going to grate some cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese you like. Cheddar, obviously, is traditional with potato soup. I'm throwing onions at the cameraman. All right, guys, now we've gone ahead and cooked our bacon, removed it, left behind all that bacon grease. If you don't eat pork, you can use beef bacon for this recipe. Now we're gonna cook the onion right in that bacon fat. So one diced onion, we turn the heat off. That way, things will cool down just a little bit so we don't scorch our onion. But now we're gonna go ahead and cook this onion, saute that down, add in some garlic, a little bit of chicken base, some flour to create a roux, which is gonna be the thickening agent for the soup. You could just use the potatoes as a thickener too, but I just have gotten accustomed to doing it this way. It's not a whole lot of flour, just like a little less than a quarter cup probably. You can go ahead and saute that onion in that bacon fat. Get the heat going on medium. Smelling amazing in here already. In goes 1 to 2 tablespoons of garlic. A teaspoon or 2 of chicken bouillon. Powder. A teaspoon or 2 of chicken bouillon, or better than bouillon, chicken base, either one. We're going to give that a good mix. Solid foundation of flavor right there. We got bacon fat, we got onions, we got garlic. I'm going to scrape the bottom to get all the fond up off of there. And just sweat that down till the onions get nice and tender. Now we're going in with about a quarter cup of flour. Give that a good mix and cook that for about a minute or two to cook off that raw flour taste. It's going to form almost like a paste-like consistency. So don't be alarmed when you see it kind of clumping up like that. That's absolutely normal. Then we're going in with 3 cups of chicken broth. Bring that to a boil, and then we're going to add in our cream. Another quick reminder, guys, all the specific measurements and ingredients and directions for this recipe can be found at MrMakeItHappen.com. All right, guys, so we added in 1 cup of heavy cream and 2 cups of whole milk along with the chicken broth that you saw. Now it's time to go ahead and season this up, get it up to a boil, and then we're going to cook our potatoes right in this mixture. For seasoning, we got my buttery garlic pepper. Phenomenal when it comes to anything, poultry, beef, lamb, potatoes. It's good on basically everything. Going in with some of that, some smoked paprika, a little chili powder, and my all-purpose seasoning. That's all the seasoning you're really going to need because you got that chicken bouillon in there as well. That's adding a lot of flavor to the party too. So once this comes to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and add in the potatoes, let them, you know, cook for 12, maybe 15 minutes until they're fork tender. And then we'll be most of the way there. All right, guys, after a good 15 minutes, your potatoes should be nice and tender, and that is when we break out the hand masher and we start to mash the potatoes. It's totally up to you how smooth or lumpy you want the consistency of your soup to be. The more you mash them, the thicker the soup will be. I like to mash maybe 50 to 60% of the potatoes and work that into the soup. And then I like to have some potato chunks in my potato soup, right? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it relatively chunky. Let's say 40% chunky. Kind of like how I am right now, coming off of Thanksgiving. And we're gonna mash this, give it a mix, and then start adding in our cheese. Taste for seasoning. Taste as you go, adjust the flavor to your preference. And it'll be time to plate this up. All right, guys, once the potatoes are tender, mashed up, you added the cheese, you got it tasting perfect, it's time to plate this up. We're gonna do that with some sour cream, some additional cheddar cheese, and some bacon. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys, looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test, but before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, people, a little sour cream, a little bacon. Can't forget the chives. One of my favorite soups right here. If you want this full recipe, go to MrMakeItHappen.com and keep yourself warm this holiday winter season. Bro, hey, it don't get better than that.